Yeah, I'd like to welcome everyone to our Board of Commissioners meeting for Monday, December 20th, 2021. We'll start our meeting with the Pledge of Allegiance.
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, we've got our attorney, Matt Shipman, is on the Zoom. There's Matt.
I think he might be muted.
I guess we'll just start with our Region 3A Board of Directors appointment. I think we've all had a chance to take a look at the contract for Region 3A. And it's an appointment for the Board of Directors. Do I have any discussion?
I'm more than willing to serve on that board if that's what the Board of Commissioners would choose.
Okay,
I'll make a motion nominating Commissioner Banks to serve on Region 3A for 2022.
okay, we got a motion to approve Commissioner Banks for the 2022 Region 3A Board of Directors. I will second that. Any further discussions? All those in favor, raise your right hand. Opposed, the same. I wonder with our, with the attorney being on Zoom, if we should do everything as a roll call.
Well, he's not a voting member. I don't think we have to.
Okay. Can Matt hear us yet? Are you on, Matt? Okay. Okay, the next thing on the agenda, we have a credit card request for the museum.
She's not in on Monday, so I don't know
Okay.
if you all received her email.
Yeah.
I have no issues with it. I know it can take some time getting reimbursed for items. And as long as they provide the receipts, I have no issue. So I'll make a motion that we approve a credit card for the Historical Museum.
Second.
Okay, we've got a motion and a second to approve the credit card for the Historical Museum. Do I have any other discussions? All those in favor, raise your right hand. Opposed, the same. Thank you. Okay, next on the agenda, we have the jail project. Chad, would you like to explain a little bit about?
Yeah, so I believe it was maybe the last commissioner meeting or maybe the one prior where we had selected a BW to be an owner's representative for us and just kind of represent us in the contract negotiations, because previously we had selected Elevatus to be the architecture firm to do design. And so I know that Jeff and I believe Tony worked closely together to come to an agreement on the contract for design. And I also know that Matt Shipman has worked on the contract between the Board of Commissioners and BW. So I know Jeff has spent some time working on these things and had offered to give us an update if you'd like to call him forward and
Sure.
hear from
Jeff,
him.
Good afternoon. I'll just give you a high-level overview of the contract that is being considered for Elevatus, if that's pleases the commissioners. Very briefly, we met the commissioners, we met on the 6th of December, and I painfully took you through line by line of the contract and pointed out the things of concern. I met with representatives of Elevatus last week, and we went through that very same line by line, paragraph by paragraph review. The key contract terms that I believe the commissioners will remember is the design scope is based on a prototypical facility, which has its advantages, but the Elevatus team agreed to provide to the commissioners a full presentation of that prototypical design and to agree to make any revisions to that either the commissioners would like, jail commander, or the sheriff, just so you get the facility you want, even though we're starting with a prototypical design. Their design scope includes full design services, architectural, site civil, mechanical, electrical, plumbing, security, detention, all the things you'd expect. It does not include FF&E, which is furniture, fixtures, and equipment. They can do it, but that's an additional fee. As-built drawings, and we can talk about whether that's something the commissioners will want at the end. And then the last thing they did not include was commissioning, which is really something that the owner ought to contract direct for if we decide to do that towards the end of the project. The contract provides for full insurance coverage, liability, automobile liability, workers' comp, and most importantly, professional liability, errors and omissions, which protects the county. Their compensation is based on the cost of the work, and it's a 4% fee based on the cost of the work, but it excludes things that they don't provide professional design services for. So you're paying for what they actually design, which is very fair. I would say maybe editorial comment, that 4% fee is much lower than we see in our business anyway. It's usually that 5 to 7% rate. So I believe the county's made an excellent decision in terms of this prototypical design approach and getting a very fair fee for that. Just based on my review and the conversations I've had with Elevatus, I believe the contract to be fair and reasonable, and I would recommend your approval.
Great.
Happy to answer any questions.
Questions? Any comments?
No, I'm comfortable with it as well. In fact, if we're ready, I'm happy to make a motion that we.
We've been working with this for a long time, and I think we feel very comfortable with Elevatus on their contract, and especially with the examination that Jeff has given us. So.
Yeah, I move that we sign the agreement with Elevatus.
Second.
Okay, we got a motion to approve the agreement for architectural services for our jail from Elevatus. We've got a second. Further discussion? All those in favor, raise your right hand. Opposed, the same. Thank you.
Thanks, Jeff.
Thank you, Jeff.
And also, I'd like to move that we also met Shipman, reviewed and edited the agreement with BW, and I would like to make a motion that we enter into that agreement as well.
Second.
I'm sorry, that was.
Nope, that's fine. I just made a motion that we also enter into the agreement with BW, with Matt Shipman's review and edits. And of course, that's just for public knowledge. That's basically just getting us started at this point. It's a shorter term contract that gets us started, and then we'll review and enter into a longer term contract later on.
So at this point, it's a 60-day contract.
That's right. Yep. That was Matt's language. Yep.
Okay.
Second.
Okay, we got a motion. We got a second. Further discussions? All those in favor, raise your right hand. Opposed, the same.
We're excited to have you both on board. We might have to print another one of these and sign after the meeting. I made an error.
I think we both did.
We'll sign this later then. Okay, and as part of the jail project, we have two resolutions that we need to deal with. The first one is a resolution from the Board of Commissioners of Whitley County, Indiana, determining the need for a project and the intent to proceed and authorizing circulation of a petition of taxpayers. And this will be resolution number 2021-12.
I move that we approve resolution number 2021-12.
Okay, we've got a
Second.
motion to approve resolution number 2021-12. We've got a second. Further discussions? All those in favor, raise your right hand. Opposed, the same. Thank you. And again, as part of the jail project and the issuance of the bonds through Ice Miller and Baker Tilly, we have a declaration of official intent to reimburse expenditures. And again, that's a resolution, and the resolution number is 2021-13.
I'll move that we approve resolution 2021-13.
Second.
We got a motion and a second to approve resolution number 2021-13. Any discussion, comments? All those in favor, raise your right hand. Opposed, the same. Yeah, I think this is a great start for us on the jail project. We're really looking forward to getting that going, and I'm sure the sheriff feels the same right now.
Yep.
Okay, Brandon Forrester, Highway Department update.
Last week I sent you all a bid tab for the annual bids for major supplies that were opened at your last meeting. And so my recommendation on those bids would be to accept all the bids except for the fixed price for fuel.
So if we're accepting all the bids besides the fixed price, are we going with the flex price that they also had? Okay. And I guess, is it just your professional opinion that it's going to cost us less money if we do that rather than going with the fixed price?
Yeah, I spoke with someone about that because fixed prices were cheaper, which I'm no economist, but that says that prices are going to go down. Is what I understand of the market, what I've been told. So it's a gamble, you know, you can choose to go whichever way you want. I don't dabble much in the stock market myself. There's too much volatility. Obviously, one pipeline maintenance project can make gas prices go up 30 or 40 cents overnight. So if that's In my time at the highway, we've always used the variable price, and you know, years ago, we were getting fuel at less than $1 a gallon on the wholesale price. Obviously, that's not the case now, but there are some other things involved, at least with one bidder, when it comes to the fixed pricing. Also, you have to commit to, they want you to commit to a certain gallonage, which, you know, I mean, there's no way for us to do that. If we would commit to 300,000 gallons of diesel fuel, which is a reasonable number, if at the end of the year we've only purchased 250,000, then we have no place to put 50,000 gallons of fuel. And so that, in my opinion, was an unreasonable request, but that was only associated with the fixed price commitment. And there was a clause in their bid about, I was just reviewing that when you called me up, about claiming that, you know, they would have the opportunity to increase or change, adjust their submitted firm price with the current NYMEX settlement until the date of written receipt of award or the intent to award. So, you know, with that being the case, the price they submitted is no good anyways. And it further says, if no contract can be made until the board approves, then the gallonage and price protection cannot begin until we have a signed contract. So that makes me leery, definitely. They want us to commit to a price for a contract before they give us a price. So we've done well with fluctuating price.
Is that you, Matt?
Yeah, I've been here the whole time. Can you guys hear me?
Just
Hello?
started to hear you right now.
Okay. Yeah, I've been listening the whole time. I don't know why it wouldn't let me. I don't know. Anyway, I'm here and I heard everything. There isn't anything I have additionally to report or anything other than the contracts which you guys approved, which that was good. So
Okay, thank you.
I'd like to make a motion that we accept all bids with the exclusion of fixed fuel pricing.
Second.
Okay, we got a motion to accept all the bids from, for the highway department that were provided to us, except for the fixed rate for fuel. Any further comments, any discussions? All those in favor, raise your right hand. All opposed, the same. Thank you. Thank you, Brandon. I would like to say thank you, Brandon, for all that you've done for us. Brandon's going to be going to bigger and better things as of Christmas. So we appreciate all you've done, and we wish you well in all that you do.
Hate to see you go. Thanks a bunch for everything you've done.
Thank you.
Okay, Amy Motter. Okay.
I was here 2 weeks ago regarding the purchase of a support dog and was asking the county to provide the liability insurance and needed some time to look in to see if that was possible. So I'm back today to see if that's something that the county would cover. And just to update you, we have received full funding. It was a private donation through the community foundation that would cover the rest of the dog if it's approved.
I think one of the bigger questions that we had is going forward, do you have monies to provide food and vet services for the dog?
Yes, so we built, that's part of the community foundation donation that we received for the first year. We just estimated it. My plan is to continue to apply for grants. I know JDAI is one that has approached me and said that might be something if the dog is utilized in juvenile court that they would help with. If not, we'll fund that out of probation, adult probation user fees. Which right now we're sitting with $100,000 in that fund.
So I think some of the other questions that we had, so is it going to have like certification to be like a therapeutic dog? Okay, and then it's going to live at community corrections?
It will be at the work release facility. They have a room for it. It'll have its own room. Basically, how I anticipate this working is I will pick it up in the mornings, take it to the probation department, probably not Mondays, but other days. And then we'll be transporting it back and forth. It'll be going to vet court. So Julie Jensen, Kelly, and I will be the co-handlers of that. And I'm going to have Ian Dash, who leads the MRT classes in my department. He will be also trained as a third handler so that it'll go to MRT classes with him. If it's in probation, I will be responsible for it. When it's community corrections, Julie will be responsible for it. As you know, the facility is a 24-hour facility, so there'll be somebody assigned to the dog to take care of it while it's there, but it will have its own room so that it can have its downtime because it does need its off time. So it'll have a cage and its own room out there.
Okay, and then another question that was brought up. So obviously it's not a canine, whereas they have one handler.
Right.
So with this certification, the dog can have multiple
Yes.
handlers?
Yes.
Okay.
Julie and I are going to be, and Ian, we're all three are going down to be trained. Basically, the dog will be trained and then we will be trained as well. And then one of us will actually take the dog to get the certification, but all three of us will have had the training.
Okay. And then another concern, I'm sorry, we just want to be thorough. What if one of the participants in work release has an issue with the dog, or what if someone's allergic to the dog, or?
Then we will make sure it doesn't stay in that area. I'm prepared to take it home with me if needed, and Julie will be prepared to take it home with her as needed as well. And that's why we're going with the Labradoodle, because they are hypoallergenic, to hopefully negate anybody that's allergic to them.
I don't have any questions either. Just feels like there's a lot of moving parts on this one. And I mean, personally, I'm just going to let you know, I'm not in favor at this time because there are just so many moving parts. So I will not be voting for it this time.
Okay, I'm sorry, I thought of another question. So how long will the dog be in service? Is it like a canine, like 9 to 10 years or so?
I believe it will be in service as long as it's able to be in service. It could be its whole life, because it's not going to be like a police dog where it's out, chasing and running and all that stuff. Until the point that it just can no longer, something health-wise goes wrong with it. And then at that point, we will then need to decide who's going to take it home with them and let it live it the rest of its life.
And you're willing to take it home, correct?
Absolutely.
And then is Julie, if you couldn't for some
Yes,
reason?
yes.
Okay, and I'm sorry, who's the third handler?
Ian Dash.
Okay, and then is he willing to take it home? I'm
He's
just
not willing to
curious.
take it home at this point.
Okay. And then you and Julie don't plan on going anywhere for the next?
We'll be here around for a while.
Okay, that was one of my concerns,
Yeah.
just, I want the dog to.
I know this
go
is a
somewhere
long-term
good.
commitment,
Mhm.
and so I will make sure that this dog is taken care of if it's approved.
Okay. I don't have any issues with it. We've got the funding in place. So I'll make a motion that we approve the service dog for community corrections and probation.
Okay, we got a motion to approve. I'll second. Further discussions? All those in favor, raise your right hand. Opposed, the same. Let the record show that it's 2-1.
Thank you.
Thank you. Have a good
Thanks, Ian.
holiday.
You too.
Okay, Nathan Bilger, plat approval.
Thank you. Just have one plat up for your review and acceptance this afternoon. To be called Fairchild subdivision. This is a one-lot plat located on the east side of Johnson Road, a little ways south of where it turns west to intersect with 205 in Smith Township. Plan Commission reviewed this in October, part of the very large meeting they had of several different plats. One thing to note on this, what you are accepting is the proposed right-of-way dedication and easements. The front setback line may be changing because they found out that what is actually shown on the face of the plat doesn't necessarily work for them. So they may be filing for variance. And if so, then this won't be recorded until after that's been dealt with, and that may change that front setback line. But again, the setback line is not something the commissioners really would be reviewing and accepting. It's the right of way and the easements. So I feel comfortable presenting it to you. Any questions?
So at this time,
So we're approving, just for clarification, we're approving what, two pieces of it?
With plats, and especially minor plats, you're approving the acceptance of the right-of-way dedication and the public easements. The building line is something that's dictated by the zoning code, and in this case, potentially by the variance as well, if it's granted.
Well, I would like to make a motion that we approve the Fairchild subdivision.
Second?
President.
okay, we've got a motion and a second to approve the Fairchild subdivision plat approval. Do we have any discussions? Those in favor, raise your right hand. Opposed, the same.
Thank you. And while you're signing that, just a quick update. SDS is hopefully going to be on schedule for installing video equipment in the basement meeting room yet this week and next. Some contingency about exactly when we'll finish because of availability of materials, but at least we'll get started with what they have in stock. So our Plan Commission meetings and DBA meetings should be a little bit nicer to view rather than just running off of one webcam. And of course, audio was handled several years ago, so all of it should be integrated.
We appreciate that. Thank you.
And thank you to the council for transferring the funds to make that happen.
Thank you. Thank you, Nathan. Have a good Christmas.
Thanks, you guys as well.
Okay, next on the agenda, we have the EMS contract with Parkview. And this is the agreement for 2022 to 2024. Matt, did you have anything? Is he still?
Can you hear me okay?
Yeah. Did you have any questions about the contract at all?
You can hear me? Okay. Yeah. I did not. I know Kami was trying to find one that was not redlined, and I didn't have one, but the changes that were in the redline version was fine with me.
Okay, thank you. Commissioners?
had a difficult time with this contract, as you well know, because I'm very pro Parkview. I'm very grateful to Parkview for being a leader in healthcare in our community. But this contract essentially is less service for more dollars. And I've really struggled with that. I appreciate that it's incremental, that it will be increased by, I believe, 25,000 and then an additional 25,000 on the third year. So the first year is same cost. Next year is 25,000 additional. Following year is 25,000 additional. And where I see less of a service is everyone that you speak to is experiencing a staffing shortage, and paramedics are no different, and in fact probably even harder to find. But Parkview has come up with a solution that they will put paramedics in a chase vehicle, and as the incidents escalate or as needed, when a paramedic is needed on scene, then they'll send that paramedic out in a separate vehicle. I have concerns with that because so many calls are going to be different. But, you know, like I said, I just, it feels as though we're paying more dollars for less of a service. With that being said, I'm going to go along with this today. I understand the importance of it, but not without expressing my concern with what we're doing. And then of course, just for the public knowledge, our contract for EMS is paid, half of what is paid is through a trust, and that trust can no longer sustain the half payment of 125,000, I believe. So we pay 125,000 and the trust pays 125,000, and moving forward, realistically, the trust is only going to be able to sustain like maybe a $70,000 or $80,000 payment. So not only are we hit with the increase from Parkview, but we also, from the county budget, have to come up with more dollars just to pay the bill because the trust at the community foundation can't sustain it. So it's not just the hit and the increase to Parkview, it's also the hit and the lack of money from the trust. So I just wanted to be on record and say, one, I'm pro Parkview. Two, I'm concerned with how we're going to pay for the increases. With all of that being said, I will go along with the contract.
I think you bring up some really good points, Commissioner Banks. I don't think that the staffing shortage can be overly stated. It really is a crisis. It's not just Whitley County, it's all of the surrounding counties. Parkview has increased the wages for EMTs and paramedics. I believe an EMT
Correct.
makes something like $15 an hour. Obviously, that's pennies for what they do. So they can't find anyone who wants to work. So there's a staffing shortage, as Commissioner Banks just said. Obviously, we can't go without EMS service either. So with extensive conversations with Parkview, they really are doing their absolute best to provide the county with good service. So overall, the increase is $50,000 for the entire contract for the increasement. So, and of course, with inflation and giving their people a raise, I think that that's very reasonable. So we're doing the best that we can in a bad situation, I guess. So we need to approve it.
Okay. I'd just like to say that I am on the Parkview Board of Directors representing the county, and I just like to make sure that everyone knows also that you know, we've always for the last 12 years that I know of have been providing the Parkview's been providing 3 ambulances for Whitley County. And at this point, about a year and a half ago, they started with a 4th one, doing it part-time. So it does seem to me like they're trying to do as much as they can for Whitley County. But again, because of the situation with all of the lack of personnel, it's difficult. But I feel confident that this is a good contract. I'm going to abstain from vote on this, but I'll make a motion, or we got a motion.
I'll make a motion. I have not made a motion.
Okay, we've got a motion,
Second.
got a second. And this is to approve the contract for 2022 to 2024 for the Parkview EMS. Do we have any other discussions? All those in favor, raise your right hand. Oppose the same. And I'll abstain. Thank you. Okay. Payroll and accounts payable.
I had a chance to go upstairs this morning and review claims and payroll, and everything looked in order. I didn't see any issue. So I'd like to make a motion that we approve both payroll and claims.
Okay, we got a motion to approve payroll and claims.
Second.
We got a second. Further discussions? All those in favor, raise your right hand. Opposed, the same. Thank you. Okay, next on the agenda, we have the previous meeting minutes approval. And that would be for December 6th, 2021. We have two approvals to be given. One is for the highway opening that we had, the major supply bid opening.
I'll make a motion that we approve the December 6th minutes, the special meeting for opening bids for the highway department.
Got a motion?
Second.
Got a second? And this is again for the 2022 highway annual major supply bid. Any further discussions? All those in favor, raise your right hand. Opposed, the same. Thank you. Next, we have the regular meeting minutes for December 6th, 2021.
I move that we approve them as presented.
Second.
Got a motion to approve as presented. We've got a second. Further discussion? All those in favor, raise your right hand. Opposed, the same. Thank you. Matt, did you have anything further?
I do not have anything further.
Thank you. Tiffany,
Have a Merry Christmas.
thank you. Same to you. Nothing from auditor's office. Commissioner?
I just want to make sure that we didn't need to take action on the petition for the jail bill bid. Okay. Got it. I have nothing else to add.
Okay, Commissioner.
I just only thing I want to say is I hope everyone has a great holiday and New Year's. So that's it.
Thank you. And I don't have anything either. Anything from the public? Thank you, everyone, and Merry Christmas. Got 3 different agendas here.